On our 10th wedding anniversary, I thought I could be honest with my husband David in a way that would strengthen our marriage. I had been feeling unfulfilled, restless, and drawn to someone else, and in a moment of misguided bravery, I confessed that I wanted to open our marriage. I thought he might understand, or at least discuss it calmly, but I completely underestimated the storm I was about to unleash. David's face changed instantly. Shock, anger, and disbelief crossed his features, and the calmness I had expected evaporated. He didn't yell at me immediately, didn't storm out, but there was a palpable tension that made my heart race. He sat silently for a long moment, his eyes fixed on me, and then spoke with a quiet, deadly calm. He said nothing about discussion or compromise. Instead, he began to outline consequences in a way that I realized was both deliberate and terrifying. I thought I had prepared for his reaction, but I hadn't prepared for the brutal intelligence behind it. That night, I went to bed hoping for reconciliation, but David stayed up late, quietly documenting everything. Every conversation I'd had with my affair partner, every message, every interaction, all meticulously recorded. I began to sense that this wouldn't just be a heated argument. This would be revenge, precise and calculated. The next day, I discovered the first waves of his retaliation. He contacted my affair partner directly, exposing the relationship and threatening legal action. Messages that had once been secret were suddenly undeniable evidence in someone else's hands. My partner panicked, and I realized that David's reach and planning were more extensive than I had imagined, but the revenge didn't stop there. David meticulously documented my infidelity and presented the evidence to friends and family in a controlled, calculated manner. Instead of a chaotic confrontation, he orchestrated a series of subtle revelations that maximized emotional impact. Colleagues, relatives, and even our closest friends learned the truth in a way that was impossible to ignore. Every lie I had told, every secret meeting, and every betrayal became undeniable. I tried to plead, to explain, to minimize my actions, but it was too late. David had not just planned retaliation, he had engineered total accountability. Messages, photos, and timestamps left no room for denial. My once carefully curated reputation crumbled as the people I trusted witnessed the consequences of my actions firsthand. Then came the legal response. Divorce proceedings were initiated swiftly, with David presenting the evidence he had collected. Custody of our children, financial settlements, and property division were all handled with precision, reflecting the severity of my betrayal. Every attempt to manipulate or plead fell flat against the overwhelming weight of facts. The final blow was emotional. David cut me off completely. He ghosted me, refused contact, and ensured that my presence in his life was entirely removed. The home we had shared became mine to leave. The shared life dissolved, and I was forced to face the consequences of my choices alone. His revenge was not about dramatics, it was about control, accountability, and permanence. In the months that followed, I watched him rebuild his life calmly, focused on stability, our children, and future plans. My attempts to regain influence were fruitless, and I realized the full extent of the devastation I had brought upon myself. His calculated approach left me isolated, humiliated, and forced to confront the repercussions of my betrayal. Looking back, I understood the true power of his revenge. It wasn't impulsive or angry. It was strategic, precise, and absolute. By pretending to endure my confession, documenting everything, exposing me socially and legally, and cutting me out entirely, he ensured that my infidelity had consequences that were permanent and unavoidable. What I had thought would be an honest conversation turned into a catastrophic lesson. David's rage was not reckless, it was thermonuclear. And in the end, I learned the harshest truth of all. When trust is broken, calculated revenge can be devastatingly effective.